Hi everyone, I am Mahalakshmi, Assistant Professor, St.Josephs College of Arts and Science for Women, Huzur. In graph theory, in this section, we have two types of matrices related to graph. The first one is adjacency matrix and the second one is incidency matrix. A matrix is convenient and useful way to representing a graph to a computer. Further, the algebra of matrices can be used to identify certain properties of graphs. A graph can also be represented by matrix. The two types are first one is adjacent matrix, second one is incident matrix. Let us see one by one. The first one is adjacency matrix. The adjacency matrix of a graph G with n vertices and no parallel edge is a symmetric binary matrix A of G. Here, let G be a graph, V comma E be the vertex and the edge set. Okay. Suppose the set V contains 5 vertices V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. These are vertices set and suppose the graph contains 7 vertices, means the order of the matrix is 7 cross 7. The number of vertices is the order of the matrix. In generally, the graph contains n vertices, means the order of the matrix is n cross n. This is the first one, first concept. Okay. What's the procedure? What's the procedure to make adjacency matrix using this graph? The first one is, first condition, Aij is equal to 1 if there is an edge between Vi to Vj. For example, here V5 is the one of the vertex and Vj. This edge is called E53. E53. The connection between V5 and V3 is E53. Therefore, V5 to V3. In between the V5 to V3 is one edge exists. That means here we can mark 1. We can mark 1. Suppose V1 to V5. In between V1 to V5 there is no edge. There is no edge. Therefore, we use 0. There is no adjacent. If 2 vertices are adjacent, means simply 2 vertices are adjacent, means the value is 1. The 2 vertices are not adjacent, means that value is 0. In between V1, for example, in between V1 to V5 there is no edge. The vertices V1 and V5 are not adjacent. Therefore, V1 to V5. V1 to V5, the intersection of these 2 vertices is 0. There is no adjacent, that is not adjacent, therefore the value is 0. Like that, we can make the matrix using these vertices and edges. We start from first one. Here, in generally, Aij is equal to 1 if there is an edge between Vi to Vj. It means simply Vi to Vj, the 2 vertices are adjacent. Adjacent means we can write 1. If not adjacent means 0. Suppose the self loop will be exist. In that case, that equivalent to adjacent. Therefore, we can use 1. For example, here V4 is a self loop. V4 contains a self loop. Therefore, V4 to V4 is adjacent. Here V4 is there. V4 to V4. Here that is adjacent. Therefore, we write 1. Okay. So, using this concept, here we make one matrix. Here total number of vertices is 5. Therefore, we can make 5 cross 5 matrix. First you write V1, V2, V3, V4, V5 and also row wise and column wise V1, V2, V3, V4, V5. First you can check V1 to V1. V1 to V1, any connection is there, any edge is there? Yes, is there. This is self loop. Therefore, the V1 is adjacent to V1. Therefore, we can write V1. We can write V1. Next, we can fill in row wise. First, V1 to V2. V1 to V2. V1 is adjacent to directly adjacent to V2. Yes, is adjacent. Therefore, we can write 1. Next, V1 to V3. V1 to V3. V1 to V3 is directly adjacent. No, there is no adjacent vertices. Therefore, we write 0. V1 to V3, 0. Next, V1 to V4. V1 to V4. Yes, these two vertices are directly adjacent. Therefore, we can write 1. 1. Next, V1 to V5. V1 to V5. These two vertices are not adjacent. Therefore, we can write 0. Like that, we can write 5 cross 5 matrix using this graph. Finally, we get this answer. This matrix is called adjacent matrix. I think you're all clear in this concept. Like that. Next one. The first topic is over. Next is incidency matrix. What is incidency matrix? Incident matrix means here what's the concept there? Like similar to adjacency matrix, some one or two concepts are different. The given matrix here G with n vertices and E edges. In adjacency matrix, we consider the only vertices for the order. But incident matrix, n vertices, E edges. So the order of the vertices is considered based on the vertices and also edges. Okay. Here number of vertices n and number of edges is E. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices is there. So we can write V1, V2, V3, V4 and edges we write in row wise. E1, E2, how many edges is there? Here 6 edges is there. Therefore, we can write say E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6. Okay. So incident matrix order is based on the number of vertices and number of edges. This is the order of this matrix. Okay, the order of the matrix is n cross E. N is the number of vertices and E is the number of edges. Okay. And next, how to fill this matrix? The concept is the same. For example, JTH, EJ is incident with ith vertices. For example, here E1. E1 is adjacent to V1. Therefore, here adjacency. In adjacency matrix, we match only the vertices only. Here we can check edges and vertices. Okay. So, for example, in this matrix, the first one is the first vertices and first E1 and E1. What's the relation between V1 and E1? This is our incident vertices. V1 is incident with E1. Therefore, the value is 1. The value is 1. Next, V1. Next, we can check V1 and E2. Where is V1? V1. Where is E2? E2. This edge is not incident with V1. Therefore, the value is 0 here. The value is 0. Next, V1, E3. V1, E3. E3 is there. The edge E3 is not incident with vertex V1. Therefore, the value is 0. Next, V1, E4. V1, that is E4, E4 is there. E4 is there incident with the V4 edge. V4 is incident with the vertex V1. Therefore, the value is 1. Therefore, here we can write 1. Next, V1, E5. V1, that is E5, E5. This edge E5 is incident with the vertex V1. Therefore, the value is here 1. Next, V1, E6. V1, that is E6. E6 is this edge. This edge is directly connected to V1. Okay, this edge is called E6. This E6 is directly incident with the vertex V1. Therefore, the here value is 1. Like that, we can fill the values in second row, third row, and fourth row. This matrix is called incident matrix. I hope everyone clear in this concept. If you have any doubt, text your comments. Thank you so much.